I am Susan Craighead, President of the League of Women Voters of Naperville. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We do not support or oppose candidates for public office. You can rely on the League to present fair and civil candidate events where each candidate is allowed an equal chance to respond. Our trained moderator this evening neither resides nor votes in District 5. It is local elections that have real consequences in our day-to-day lives. In many ways, our local officials have the most impact on our quality of life. I hope that your attendance here tonight means that you are making your plan for how you will cast your vote on the whole ballot on or before Tuesday, November 5th. In addition to watching candidate events live or recorded, you may also find candidate information on vote411.org, our nonpartisan voter guide. All candidates have been invited to respond to questions, and their answers appear complete and unedited. A video of this candidate forum will be linked to Vote 411. And now, let me introduce our moderator for tonight, Jan Dorner from the League of Women Voters of Elmhurst.
Thank you, Susan. I am a member of the Elmhurst League of Women Voters, and again, my name is Jan Dorner. As Susan mentioned, the League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that neither supports nor opposes candidates or parties for any office. The League's purpose is to promote political responsibility through the informed and active participation of citizens in government. Providing this forum allows citizens to become better informed about the issues facing their community and to become better acquainted with the candidates running for office. We are happy to provide this service for the community. The League of Women Voters is not responsible for verifying the accuracy of the statements that candidates make in this forum. Questions were provided by the League of Women Voters of Naperville, as well as from the community via the League's website. This forum is for the candidates running for the office of DuPage County Board, District 5. This position is a 4-year term. Both of the candidates participating have agreed to abide by the rules set forth prior to this forum. The candidates participating in this forum will each present a 2-minute introductory statement, the order determined alphabetically by last name. Then questions will be asked, and each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond in alternating order. Closing statements in continuing alpha rotation will also be 2 minutes. A timer will keep time, and candidates will strictly adhere to the time limits. Candidates, please notice the timer on the screen. You will see a 1 minute, 30-second, and 15-second warning before the stop sign. When you see the stop sign, you may finish your sentence. Our candidates tonight are Patricia Patty Gustin and Saba Haider. So let's start with opening statements from candidate Gustin.
Thank you very much, Jane. My name is Patty Gustin, and I'm honored to serve as the incumbent on the DuPage County Board. I was born and raised in Illinois, and I hold a degree in business management from DePaul University and paralegal studies from Roosevelt University. With over 20 years of experience as a licensed realtor, I have developed a deep understanding of our community's needs. Previously, I served 2 terms on the Naperville City Council, where I worked on a nonpartisan council addressing matters of public concern for the city with over 140,000 residents, managing a budget over $600 million annually, plus managing during some of the hardest times in history, budget deficits, inflation, and the pandemic, presenting real-time challenges that needed to be addressed in real time. Some have lingered on, such as mental health, the cost of living, and community safety. I focus on enhancing community safety, both in mental health services and first responder support, as I believe these elements are vital for strengthening our community and improving the quality of life for all residents and help our businesses thrive. On a personal note, I am a proud mother of 3 and a grandmother of 3 wonderful grandchildren who live close by and have a very, very diverse family. I have been married to my soulmate for over 30 years, and I believe that family support is paramount to effective public service and volunteering. I am grateful for the many endorsements over the years, including but not limited to mayors of Aurora, Lisle, Naperville, former county board chairs, Daily Herald Tribune, Local 150, Humane Society of Illinois Foundation, other elected officials and local organizations. It is my plea that voters will vote to allow me to continue to serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Haider, your opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Saba Haider, and I'm running for DuPage County Board in District 5. I'm thankful to the League of Women Voters for organizing this forum, for not only giving me the opportunity to share about my candidacy, but more importantly, to help educate the voters of District 5, especially about the down ballot candidates. I live in Aurora with my husband, Ali, where we've been raising our 2 beautiful kids for over 16 years in DuPage County. As a school district 204 volunteer, as a small business owner, and as a mental health advocate, I'm running to expand mental health and addiction crisis services, foster economic growth, and support small businesses, and keep our air, land, and water safe for our children. I moved to the US 17 years ago with a master's degree in wildlife science, to Minneapolis on February 12th to 2 feet of snow, but that's a story for another day. The United States was this beautiful shining star that I had dreamt of all my life in India growing up. With hard work, by the grace of God and a little bit of luck, we got the visa and we came to the US. Within a few months, we moved to DuPage County. I decided early on to become one with the fabric, this beautiful tapestry that is the United States. I started volunteering with local organizations. In my son's preschool classroom, I started volunteering as part of the PTA. Then I became the PTA president. And currently I serve on the biggest nonprofit arm of School District 204, along with proudly serving on the Public Health Board of DuPage County Health Department. As a candidate, I have the support and endorsement of local community leaders, union leaders, and elected officials across the political spectrum, including the chair of the DuPage County Board, Deb Conroy. I was raised by my parents who believed in giving their kids quality education, giving back to the community, and hard work. My mom runs a school for underprivileged kids in India, and my father is a retired civil engineer. I carry on with their values here in DuPage County to lead with integrity and hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate. Candidate Haider, first question goes to you. What are the county's most significant challenges, and how would you address them? You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. That's an excellent question. I truly believe that the county's biggest challenges, the 3 biggest challenges, I would say, is expanding mental health and addiction crisis services, making sure that our small business feels supported, and we are using our tax dollar money judiciously. And more importantly, while we can talk about tax dollar money and we can talk about all the other issues, it's also about common sense. We have to make sure that we keep our air, land, and water safe for ourselves, our children, and our future generations. Making sure that we expand mental health and crisis services in our district. We are already doing that by the Crisis Recovery Center that's being built, and I'm honored to be part of the health department, serving on the Public Health Board, to have voted on allowing this amazing model facility to be built in DuPage County. I'm a small business owner. I know how challenging it can be to run a business, to make it successful, to allow it to thrive, to be a contributing small business in the community. And I have a master's degree in wildlife science. I'm trained to take care of delicate ecosystems, to take care of endangered species, and protect our air, land, and water safe. And with these qualities, with this professional background and educational experience, I will be able to tackle these 3 issues in DuPage County. Thank you.
Thank you. Gustin, same question.
Thank you. There are a few issues. One, of course, is the economy, which the cost of goods and affordable housing is skyrocketing. We've budgeted $5 million for affordable workforce housing initiatives. I sit on the ad hoc housing committee, where we have had numerous presentations to provide a supportive, affordable housing plan. As a realtor and a paralegal, I have clear understanding of the needs. The word affordable is tossed about by many people, elected officials, etc. However, everyone has a different definition of affordable housing. Affordable subsidized housing, or entry-level housing, or workforce housing. What is affordable to one person is not affordable to another. We need clarification on that before we can resolve the issue. Staff will be presenting a proposed action plan on affordable housing on November 24th. Step 1 is to develop a housing trust fund for brick, mortar, water, sewers, lift stations to reduce the cost of housing. 2, initiate municipal and village partnerships for this development. The other is public safety and mental health. Public safety and mental health are interconnected. I have hosted multiple educational sessions aimed at raising awareness of public safety and to learn how our public safety community works. In addition to these efforts, I have worked closely with our local school districts to establish vital connections and support between the county and mental health programs. One notable initiative is the District 204 CARES program, which provides critical mental health support to students and their families. When there were concerns about funding, I took the initiative to bring together key stakeholders, including DuPage Superintendent of Schools, the Director of the Department of Health, and the school superintendents and the service providers to safeguard the future of this essential program. So for me, solving the affordable housing was an issue we had in the city of Naperville. We established volunteer incentive programs and stimulated affordable housing. We also didn't have much to deal with respect to mental health. But the reality is it is here at the county, and it is in our county, and we do have ways in which to resolve it. So I look forward to doing so.
Thank you, Candidate Gustin.
Thank you.
How do you plan, this goes to you, Candidate Gustin, how do you plan to support local businesses and encourage economic growth within the county? 2 minutes.
Well, economic growth and small businesses is my thing. I'm a small business owner. Actually, I came from a family of small business owners on the south side of Chicago. We actually owned a Sinclair gas station way in the day. And I can remember as a little girl pumping gas and changing oil and bleeding brakes, which they don't necessarily do nowadays. So small business is the backbone of our community. And while on the Naperville City Council, we had funding programs to help a lot of the small businesses, particularly through the COVID crisis. And those small businesses and our larger businesses were struggling. And the way in which to do it is to make sure that we streamline development. We streamline the process. A lot of our businesses have to come into a vacant building, and then they have to go through the process of being in front of staff and identifying how they're going to modify that building. That can take a lot of time and money for that business. And so by streamlining it through IT and having things online has really made a difference. And the county is moving in that direction. I am on the technology committee. And so we are working towards that. We have some, and a lot of stuff is getting implemented, but those are the ways to help those small businesses and even larger businesses do business with the county. We also did away with our infrastructure tax. So we don't have that anymore. So the reality is that those businesses that needed to do some infrastructure don't have to pay that tax anymore. So there's multiple ways to do it. There's small grant programs that you can initiate also. So being there for those businesses is very important because they are the backbone and they bring taxes in, and it does relieve our residential taxpayer. So we always want to make sure we have a good balance and support Choose DuPage, which is one of the organizations that is part of
Thank you.
Group. Thank you. Sorry.
Candidate Haider, the same question.
Thank you. As a small business owner who has been running the business in this area for over 10 years, I train people to become yoga and meditation teachers. I provide consulting services to big corporations, to small businesses, to private clients in the area. I have worked with a diverse range of elements in our community, whether it is small businesses, large businesses, private clients, nonprofit organizations, for-profit organizations, and I know what is needed to be able to help support these small businesses in our area. And to share a story with you, when I was running my business, I was in the middle of a training that I was leading and the pandemic happened. And it happened on March 13th, Friday, March 13th, which was actually my birthday. And I was in the middle of the training and I had to shift the whole training online within the matter of 24 hours. For a small business owner, that's no easy feat. And by learning from all of those experiencing, by going through the everyday challenges of a small business owner, I know that we have to support our small businesses locally by providing education and training. Education and training in order to make sure that they know about the resources that exist at the municipal level, at the county level, at the state level, at the federal level. How can they ensure that they know about these resources and can tap into those resources? Where should someone go if someone wants to start a business? How do we create a hub of resources for our young entrepreneurs or someone who is willing to take over a business as he goes through transitions in his or her life? Those are the responsibilities that we have to take seriously and make sure that we provide that hub of resources, education, and training to our small businesses to thrive and grow and contribute to our society, to our community back into, so that we are all thriving and growing together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Candidate Haider, what changes would you make to help the people experiencing rising rents, housing insecurity, and those in danger of becoming unhoused?
This is an excellent question, and this is a question that is multi-pronged. These issues do not happen in a silo. This does not happen because of one particular reason. We have to approach it from multiple dimensions to make sure that we are providing affordable housing to the residents of DuPage County, to new families that are choosing to make DuPage their homes, to adults that are dealing with disabilities. How do we help them become independent? To seniors that are not ready to let go of their freedoms, but are wanting to stay housed, wanting to make sure that they are thriving and they're growing, still enjoying and being a participating members of their communities. The Housing Committee set up by Chairwoman Deb Conroy is an excellent start in that direction, in understanding what are the inadequacies in our communities and how we can best support people in our communities. But more importantly, we also have to focus on projects like the Larkin Place in Elgin, Illinois, that provides help to the residents of DuPage County that are looking for affordable housing, that are looking to make sure that they are able to stay housed, to able to maintain their job, to be able to maintain a healthy mental health hygiene, to be able to make sure that they stay off the path of many of the challenges that comes with having that insecurity of not having a house of their own, not having a place to live. And it's a great start. It's a great progress in that we've moved from $2.5 million toward housing in 2023 to $5 million in 2024 and 2025. I'm sorry, not 23. But this is just a start, and there is so much more that we need to do. And this also has to be an intergovernmental approach. We have to work with the Sheriff's Department. We have to work with profit and nonprofit organizations. We have to work with developers to make sure that we are able to provide these resources to our families that are in need of affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Gustin, same question.
Thank you very much. Yes, and as a real estate professional for over 20-something years, definitely need affordable housing. I mean, while I was on the Naperville City Council, we established a voluntary incentive program to stimulate affordable housing. As the chair on the Planning and Zoning Board, presiding during over one of the most robust development times in Naperville's history, options, we needed something. We need something now. The costs are just extremely high. Currently, I sit on the DuPage County Development Committee, the Home Advisory Group, and the Intergovernmental Committee, which is best designed to deal with the housing issues. I'm also on the Ad Hoc Housing Committee. Each community is not an island, so we need to work together intergovernmentally to help with the affordable housing and the shortage felt by all communities, not only our district, but all the districts. Changing ordinances and offering streamlined approval processes will add to that assistance. I sit on the DuPage Technology Committee that can aid by changing to better serve the customers and developers to develop affordable housing and keep costs down. I also sit on the Illinois State Association of Counties, ISACO, Community, Economic, and Workforce Development Policy Committee, and the Environment, Energy, and Land Use Policy Committee. All of these skills will provide the needed knowledge to relieve the affordable housing issue that we're dealing with right now. And it is very, very complicated. People like to throw out the word affordable, but it means something different to everybody. And once we all get on the same page and identify exactly what that looks like, is it subsidized housing affordable? Is it workforce entry-level housing? Is it mid-range housing? What is it, and how do we accomplish what we need to do? Because we have developers and builders that have to also be engaged in the conversation, and staff is already working on it. Thank you.
Candidate Gustin, what are DuPage County's responsibilities, if any, regarding mental health services to its constituents?
Well, it's big. Yes, we need to make sure we focus on mental health. While on the county board, we approved $15.8 million from the American Rescue Plan Act budget for the new Crisis Recovery Center. So I voted on that and voted for it. The center will provide a designated section for our youth and more beds, and they'll be in a safe and secure environment. The building will be 24/7 and act as behavioral health triage for those with mental health or substance abuse needs. It's my understanding that the internal costs will be paid by insurance and state uninsured patients. Well, the state will pay for that, but we need to do more. And that is why the real-time programs like the CARE program at District 204 and other districts are needed to help ward off later life mental health care needs, giving kids and their family tools at a young age that can be used throughout their lives. Organizations like DuPage Foundation received millions from the county and recently granted $3.37 million in transformational grant funds to 15 social service organizations for food insecurity, housing instability, mental health, and substance use disorder, supporting the work of many organizations like Kids Matter, Alive Center, and others who join in the mission for our kids. Our seniors and our military struggle during this time. So district to district, we have a small grant program we formed for smaller organizations focusing on mental health, food insecurity. Just a week ago, I lost my cousin, a Navy veteran, due to mental illness. I'm told 20 veterans commit suicide a day in this country. And I was one of the votes, that want people to be engaged in this conversation. And I was one of the votes that, was for Ms. Haider, I'm sorry, I'm saying your name wrong, to sit on the DuPage Health Department as a resident. And I'm happy that she's there to help.
Thank you. Candidate Haider, same question.
Thank you. As someone who's been running a business for over 10 years in the health and wellness industry, this is something that's very close to my heart. But also as a mother, I'm raising a high schooler. He's a junior, and I'm raising a middle schooler. She's in 7th grade. And I can tell you this, that the pandemic has accelerated the rate with which our kids, our youth, and our adults are experiencing mental health challenges. Before the pandemic, the rate of mental health issues that our schoolers, especially high schoolers, were reporting was about 30%. Post-pandemic, latest numbers show that the number of students that are reporting that they are sad or depressed is more than 44%. This is a huge number. And then it makes us really focus on what is going on, what is wrong, and how can we best serve not only our students, not only our youth, but also our adult populations. Now, serving on the Public Health Board of DuPage County Health Department has been an amazing experience for me to be able to be part of the Crisis Recovery Center and the whole journey that we've gone through has really helped me to be a stronger advocate for mental health. The special thing about the Crisis Recovery Center is that not only does it provide services to anyone who walks in, Medicaid, Medicare, insurance, no insurance, but more importantly, it provides services to our youth. And that does not happen, not only in this state, but nowhere else in this country. I think that's phenomenal. It is incumbent upon us to make sure that we expand addiction treatment programs, provide mental health services through the CRC and beyond, have a preventative media campaign to make sure that our students are aware of the challenges of drug addiction, and provide evidence-based prevention programs in our schools to make sure that the next generation that's coming out is strong and resilient and is able to manage all the challenges that the life has to throw at them. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Haider, how do you balance the need for services with the desire to keep taxes low?
We, as a community, we are in a very unique position in that post-pandemic, we are realizing the inequities in our communities. We are realizing where the gaps are. We are realizing where the services are needed and what services are needed. I am knocking doors every single day. I'm talking to thousands of voters in the last few months alone. It depends who I am talking to. And then the issues vary from community to community, even within District 5. Some are challenging, are facing the challenges of limited transportation. Others are struggling with mental health issues. Others are worried about their groceries and their rent. And we have to make sure that we provide these services and make sure that we are using our tax dollar money judiciously. That's absolutely imperative. And that is possible when we focus on an intergovernmental approach, where we remove redundancies when it comes to different units of organization, different units of governments, reduce redundancies, and add efficiencies. I'll give you a small example. If we make sure that we are working through the PART district to provide after-school programs, then we are able to take much of the load off of our various departments, of our various governments. Such programs where we are reducing redundancies and providing efficiencies through intergovernmental approach would be huge in not only saving money, not only using our tax dollar money judiciously, but also making sure we are giving back the services that our residents need, because the needs of our residents is of utmost importance to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Gustin?
Yeah, can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. How do you balance the need for services with the desire to keep taxes low?
Yeah, it's a fine line. I served on the Naperville City Council for 2 terms, and the budget is always a conversation. Where do we cut? How do we get more revenue? What does that look like? The difficulty is if you raise taxes, then those residents and those businesses are going to struggle more, particularly in this economic climate. And so balancing what you can spend versus what you're bringing in is the job of the elected official. And the reality is that you have to look at all of the components and identify in the county, it's over a $6 million budget. Same thing at the city. You have to go through line by line and look at each and every department and identify where there might be some way to be more efficient, to be able to cut cost, but then also look at where the real needs are in the community. So it's a fine line, and I've been doing it for a long time, and it takes a lot of work. We actually we just got our budget now from the chairwoman, and we all have to go through it, and each department has to present their budget, although we had one department that did not. But it's important because we need that transparency, and the public should get that transparency because they're also going to have input on the revenue. The businesses are very important because they tend to bring real estate taxes to the budget, but then they don't have as high of a service level that they need because they don't have people living there. And so it's very important to make sure that we work with our Choose DuPage, Naperville Development Partners Group, those agencies that bring those businesses to town
Thank
that
you,
are going to
Candidate
pay.
Gustin. Your
Thank
time
you.
is up. Let me remind you both to please keep track of the time a little bit better. Candidate Gustin, how can DuPage County work more effectively with other governmental entities for the benefit of its constituents?
Well, I think it does to quite a big degree. A lot of the county board members, including myself, have relationships with the mayors in our districts. And we can pick up the phone and talk to our mayors in the district and any other agency like not-for-profits and stuff. So I've been around quite some time, so I do have those relationships through all of my years of experience. So for me, it is going to be an easy thing because I'm already doing it and I have been doing it for a long time. And so we all do work together. Particularly if there's a controversial issue that is at the county level, or if there's just a stormwater issue or a public safety issue. I know who I can call, and we all work together for the benefit of the residents and the businesses and the community as a whole. So I'm really blessed with having those relationships to be able to do more and do my job at the county.
Thank you. Candidate Haider, same question.
Thank you. Before I tackle this question, I just want to specify that candidate Gustin mentioned 6 million. I'm sure that was a slip of the tongue. The budget is actually 600 million. Just wanted to clarify to the listeners that the budget of DuPage County for fiscal year 2025 is $635 million. Now, coming to the question of how to work synergistically with other departments, 90% of DuPage County is under different municipalities. Now, that makes it really important for us, the county board, to make sure that we are working with other governmental units synergistically. The role of a county board member is to set policies for each of the departments that are under the county board's jurisdiction, and also to oversee the day-to-day operations of the county government. If we keep these two things crystal clear in our minds, it's much easier for us to function with other governmental units to make sure that the services that we are providing to our residents are not only top quality, not only are readily available, but also something that we as different units are able to work together and provide those services to our residents. We also have to make sure we work at the policy level. As a candidate, have amazing relationships with elected officials, with community leaders, with union leaders. And I understand how important it is for us to make sure that we work together, affecting policy change, working synergistically with different units of government, but also more importantly, with the residents of DuPage County to make sure we provide the services that the residents need, not something that we assume that they want. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Haider, how can the board ensure that the various departments within DuPage County government communicate effectively?
It's a great question in that it continues the conversation we've been having about the intergovernmental work. In terms of the different departments, as long as the idea of why these departments are functioning is clear in everyone's mind, I believe that we can reach the common goal of serving the residents of DuPage County. For me, as a candidate and as a long-term volunteer of the community, that why is very clear in my mind. The why is to serve the residents of DuPage County in the best of my capacity possible. And if all the elected officials, county-wide, district-wide, statewide, keep that why clear in their mind and focus on accountability, focus on transparency, I believe that we can deal with any issue that comes our way. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Gustin, same question.
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
How can the board ensure that the various departments within the DuPage County government communicate effectively?
Thank you. Saba, thank you very much for that correction. I actually said 600 million in the first paragraph and misspoke in the second. So I thank you for catching that. I will say our department heads at the county, just like at the city of Naperville, communicate exceptionally well. And at the city, we have a manager who actually tells us what's going on at the city level in the departments. At the county, we have our assistant manager who also does the same thing, and our finance department. And that finance department and all of the department heads all work very well together, and they come up with their budgets. And if there's any issues in any of the departments, all we have to do is ask the question and they'll get the answer for us. So I don't think at this point there is any need for any type of change because the communication is there. We do have one department that isn't being transparent and is lacking in communication, and the state's attorney is dealing with that. So I think the reality is that the county does work well and communicate well with the department heads, as do I. However, we do have a situation where we do have a department head that isn't being transparent, and the state's attorney has to step in.
Thank you. Candidate Gustin, what, if anything, can the county board do to reduce traffic congestion within DuPage County?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. There's been a lot of conversation about getting people onto bicycles. We have a lot of individuals that love to bicycle, and I do too. I like to bike. The difficulty is the distance between one location to another location is quite expansive in the county. Versus if you're in the city of Chicago and you're, 10 blocks away from somebody. I was growing up on the south side of Chicago, so you could ride your bike 10 blocks, no big deal, or get on a bus. The reality is that the transportation in the county, people like to drive, and we do have Pace bus service that is very good. We have a Metra that takes us to and from. So, we don't have a CTA, and we don't. So, I guess we have what we have. The interesting thing is we were just at a hearing because RTA, CTA, Metra, Pace are talking about wanting to do some type of merger on the transit situation. And the conversation, Deb Conroy actually took the right position. I supported her. Was that we need to make sure that the Collier County, DuPage County has a vote at the table. What was happening is that there's a proposed for a merger of those agencies, and 5 board members would come from Cook County, 5 board members would be from the city of Chicago, 3 board members would be from the governor, and then a few of them would be from the Collier counties, which in turn, leaves the Collier counties with a lack of votership. So Deb was very straightforward and, was like, no, this isn't a good thing. Plus, they wanted to change it from a supermajority vote to a majority vote. So I think the conversation is rolling on that transportation issue and getting people around.
Thank you. Candidate Haider, same question.
Thank you. This question connects to one of the 3 priorities of my candidacy, and that is sustainability. Traffic congestion takes such a toll on the quality of our day-to-day lives. We are stuck in traffic. We are missing that precious time that we could be spending with our families. So again, this has to be a multifaceted approach. Is there a possibility for us to expand public transport? Is it a possibility for us to start a campaign where we are talking about carpooling, educating our communities about the benefits of carpooling? As I mentioned earlier, I was in Minneapolis when I first moved to the US and stayed there for a few months. We had a dedicated lane in Minneapolis only for people that are carpooling. I think that is pretty cool. I think that's a great idea that we should be thinking of of adapting in our local communities as well. And not only does this help take pressure off of our roads, give us that precious time back to with our families, but it also keeps our environment safe. It reduces our carbon footprint and overall adds to the quality of our lives. I think this is a great conversation that we are starting to have, but it is a conversation that needs to be dealt with a futuristic approach. The solutions that applied in the past, those sort of redundant solutions are not going to work anymore. We have to think futuristically. We have to think globally in finding solutions and learning from states, countries, cities across the world as to what their best practices are and adapt them and become that model county in our country where we are making sure that we are reducing traffic and improving the quality of lives of our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Haider, what steps would you support, if any, to help your constituents feel more safe in their daily lives?
This again connects back to my priorities, making sure that every resident in DuPage County feels safe. How do we feel safe? We feel safe when the services around us, the public safety services around us are robust, are properly funded, but more importantly, make sure that we have the mental health and wraparound services we need to feel safe. Make sure that not only the residents, but also our police officers feel safe, that when they are going into a patrol call, that they have the mental health support for their safety and the residents' safety. In DuPage County, in 1 year, we have had 66,000 patrol calls. That's a huge number. And in order for us to make sure we feel safe, we have to make sure that we are providing those public safety resources. We're providing mental health support, not only to our residents, but also to our police department. We are taking great strides in that direction, and more work needs to be done. Because when we start to expand mental health and addiction crisis services, we have learned from various different facilities across the country, we have learned that it takes huge pressure off of our police and fire departments, off of our circuit courts, and that results in us saving hundreds of millions of dollars every year. So there's a lot of potential here to not only save money, not only feel safe, but also improve the quality of life of our residents here in DuPage County. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Gustin.
Thank you very much. I actually received the Illinois State Police Award, and I'm endorsed by Jim Mendrick, who's the DuPage County Sheriff, and also the State's Attorney, Bob Berlin. I've been an advocate and a supporter of our law enforcement since day one. I lost a family member in Chicago who was a Chicago cop. So I totally understand what they go through, and what they go through right now is very much kind of, just nobody wants to go in that field anymore. We're lacking state's attorneys, we're lacking sheriffs because of the fact that they don't want to go into that career because it's gotten a bad name. So we're short. We're low on our sheriff count. We're low on our state's attorney count. We had to increase our budget for both of those agencies to try to get people who want to come and serve. And I think it may make some progress, but we just started that. So it's getting funding to make sure that we can fund these agencies to keep our communities safe. And when the community is safe and they realize that they're going to be safe here, it's better for them, not only mentally, but physically, to know that they are going to have a safe place to lay their head at night, and that their state's attorney is going to be an attorney who does prosecute someone who violates the law. So we've got to be able to make these agencies know that we respect them, and that we support them, and that we want them to continue to keep our community safe. So I'm an advocate, and the way to do it is to make sure we fund their budgets and get them the technology they need to be able to do their job There are some new technologies out there, like
Thank
they
you,
read the
candidate
license plates.
Gustin.
Thank you.
So this will be our last question for the evening. How can board members work together for the good of the entire county? And this goes to candidate Gustin first.
Well, here's the funny thing. We do work together. We work very well together, actually. I sat on the Naperville City Council for, 2 terms, and it's a nonpartisan board. And then I got to DuPage County Board, which is a partisan board. And I wasn't sure what to expect. But I have to say, in working with everybody on the board, no matter what the issue is, if there's a shooting in a neighborhood, I get a phone call and we work together. We work across the aisle. It doesn't matter. And also we had a beekeeping ordinance change that residents were in court charged with a violation of the ordinance. They hired attorneys, they had to pay court fees, and they were required to have an acre of land to even keep bees. Where in the city of Naperville, right across the street from some of these people, they just needed a quarter of an acre to have a beehive. So there was some bias and discrimination against our unincorporated people. And so that was brought to me, and then I brought it to the environmental committee, and then ran with it. So we, and some of those individuals are Democrats and I'm a Republican. And so I think at the end of the day, you just have to put that away and serve your constituency. And whatever the issue is, have the conversation, figure it out, and figure out what's going to be the best for the community. And sometimes, what's going to be best for the overall county as a whole. So we do that, and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you. Candidate Haider.
So my experience of being an active volunteer in the communities for over a decade is a testament to how committed I am in making sure that I work as an effective board member on the DuPage County Board and representing District 5. I serve on the biggest nonprofit arm of School District 204 Indian Prairie Educational Foundation as a director, where we have provided services to our communities, whether it comes to food insecurities, mental health resources, even providing dresses for prom to families that are not able to buy prom dresses or tuxedos. And when you work on issues like that in your communities at the grassroots level, you realize that the goal is to make sure that the people in your communities are being helped and then are finally thriving. This doesn't become a partisan issue anymore. And I have the experience of working in my communities. I serve on the Indian Prairie Parents Council, the organization that oversees 33 PTAs in our school district. And when we serve our PTAs, we are not serving through the lens of partisanship or whether we need to support this family or that family. We are working hard to make sure all families from diverse backgrounds feel welcome, included, and celebrated in our schools and in our communities. Whether it's running snack drives or leading the scholarship committee, whether it is providing wraparound mental health resources, I have done it all. I have great relationships with the current board members, with state elected officials, and with the leaders of DuPage County as a whole. And when I'm elected, I am very positive that I'll be able to create an impact at a bigger level that I've already been doing in my communities for over 17 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to closing statements. And candidate Haider, you will go first. 2 minutes.
Thank you. Listen, here's the bottom line. This isn't about me or this isn't about my opponent. This is about the residents of DuPage County. The residents of DuPage County deserve a leader who's collaborative, who is willing to work with others, and others are excited to work with them. The residents of DuPage County deserve a service-driven leader, a leader who is excited to bring improvements to the community tirelessly with fresh ideas, energy, and enthusiasm. DuPage residents deserve a leader who will show up with a growth mindset, a leader who is willing to learn and listen, not someone who shows up believing they already know all the answers. This election cycle, the choice is really clear for District 5 voters. I have proven with many years of service to this community that I am that collaborative leader, that volunteer who works tirelessly for their communities, and someone who's willing to learn and listen to serve you on the board. I've knocked thousands of doors. I'm meeting residents where they are, at their homes, dealing with their everyday challenges and issues. I've shown up to community events to educate myself, to learn, to participate, to share. I've fostered strong relationships with community leaders, elected officials, but more importantly, with the residents of DuPage County District 5. I hope that I've convinced to earn your vote through my service to this community, which has accepted me and my family as one of their own. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to directly connect with you, the leadership of League, and the voters of District 5. Thank you to the League for allowing me to share my vision for DuPage County to be a healthy, safe, successful, and sustainable county for us all. Thank you so much, and good night.
Thank you. Candidate Gustin, your closing statement, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Yes, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for Naperville for hosting this forum tonight. I want to thank Saba for coming this evening. I know she was just appointed to the IPEF, Indian Prairie Educational Foundation, because I just did a small grant program and gave them funds from the county for one of their projects. So I'm glad you just got on that board. And
I did not. I've been on that board for many years.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your service. I just wanted to say, I look forward to continuing my service on DuPage County Board. My experience, my diverse family, strong work ethic, and education gives me the skills that can best serve our residents and businesses. By supporting good business growth, we relieve the tax burden on our residents. By supporting, I will continue to support low taxes, safety, efficient government, and stand with those who are at risk, are most at risk. I just lost my cousin, and it's painful. So we need to make sure we have those nets to be able to help people in need. To learn more about me and my service, which is lengthy, visit electgustin.com, www.electgustin.com, and please remember, you can trust in Gustin. Thank you to the League of Women Voters.
Thank you. Our time is up for this forum. For more information, please visit the Nonpartisan Voter Guide, vote411.org, the candidates' websites, as well as the League of Women Voters of Naperville's website. Your participation as a candidate and as a voter is essential to preserving the democracy we hold dear. Please remember to vote on or before November 5th, as one vote can decide the election, and that one vote could be yours. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity so much. Thank you.